Yo, what is going on? I just read an update to Donald Trump's policies, a domestic policy, one of the first domestic changes that I've read. So he's changing his stance on repealing Obamacare. Currently, he's looking at keeping some parts of Obamacare. Although what he was campaigning for throughout his entire campaign was to repeal and replace Obamacare. But now he's changing up and he says he's going to keep some parts, the good parts, which coincidentally is the same thing that Hillary Clinton had for her healthcare plans, was to keep the good parts of Obamacare and then change all the bad parts. So now his healthcare plans has become exactly what Hillary Clinton was campaigning for throughout her entire campaign, which is it's kind of going back to my initial calculation on Donald Trump winning the presidency. He if you calculate everything that he wants, everything that he plans for, or that he wanted our nation to have and to get and all this other stuff, if you calculated it all, it was all impossible. There was absolutely no way that we could get all that Donald Trump wanted. We could not build the wall. There's no way we could build a wall. It would cost way too much money. No one else is going to pay for it. It was just an insane idea to begin with. And even if we did build a wall, I live in San Diego. We have tunnels. Like, people dig tunnels from one point to another point, spanning hundreds of miles. It's a dumb idea. That was impossible. It would have cost way too much money. And then he wants to cut taxes, which is like, then you have to figure out trade deals, how to get money out of that way, and then deport a bunch of people of all different religions and races. That you can't do that, because you're gonna affect, the economy. You're gonna affect the stance of the United States. You're gonna affect a bunch of different things that would in the long run just be bad. Um, where I'm going with this, right? Um, so as we go on and on and on, he's changing up a lot of his stances on things. Uh, as I said, I just read this headline. He is keeping parts of Obamacare, which is different than what he was campaigning for. I read that he now isn't planning on building a wall. It's going to cost too much, is what his team has said. So instead, they're planning on hiring more Border Patrol agents, which is completely different than what he was campaigning for. And then another thing was, I guess he was asked a question about like transgenders and whatnot using bathrooms, any bathroom that they want. He was all for that or something. My point is, he's changing up a lot of different policies, and this is something that I mean, I hate to be gloating, but I knew this was going to happen. If especially after all the research that I did, when you do the calculations, it's just impossible for you to enact all that he wanted. And history is starting to show that it's true. He's changing up so many different things so fast, and there's so much that I can say about this. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, if you have anything to say about this. But I do have this crazy proposition, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably believe this too. But I think that Donald Trump thought that this was a joke, uh, or not really thought it was a joke, but took it as a joke. Didn't think that he would get as far as he did, and then when he actually won, he was probably like, oh shit, dude, this is real. I gotta actually put together some plans, because he didn't really propose any plans throughout his campaign. He only proposed what he wants. And now he has to like actually do the math and calculate like how much would it cost to build a wall, and how much would it cost to deport a bunch of people, and how much would it cost to repeal Obamacare and replace it with something, and all this other stuff. Now he's coming to terms with like, this stuff is unrealistic. Like, if I want to be a good president, I can't do this, because I'm gonna mess up the economy in ways that are unimaginable. I don't know, man. We're going to continue to watch this as it unfolds. It's only been 4 days since he has been elected, and we have 4 more years to go. So you will definitely be getting updates from me, just because, who I wanted to win didn't win, Gary Johnson. Doesn't mean that I'm going to stop following politics. I'm going to follow this thing all the way through, and due to this last term we had, I'm going to follow it all the way until I die. I'm going to stay on politics, and I'm going to stay informed and stay knowledgeable and try to do the best that I can to make sure that our nation has great options from this point and on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Last note, I want to say I did not expect Gary Johnson to win, even though I voted for him. I wanted him to get 5% so that we can have libertarian government funding for next term. But that's a video for another day. If you want to attack me for voting Gary Johnson, that's fine. But I want to know what you think about this whole Trump deal that's going on. All right, I'll talk too long. Peace out.